Thank you, AJ. For Michael Komo, actually, when I first read the profile of you, when I was in the editing process, and found out that when you were in high school or in middle school you had to deal with Komo the homo, the first thing I thought was, at least Bug's not that bad. So, but unlike me, who just got made fun of a name just because it sounded like Bug, Michael took a different path and helped launch a day of silence in his middle school, a gay-straight alliance in his high school, and he became the first person to come out in his class. They were all acts of bravery for someone that age in Erie, Pennsylvania, and in retrospect, a big sign of things to come. Basically, when Michael got to George Washington University, he didn't simply wonder why the school wasn't as inclusive as it should be. He simply moved forward and said, this is how it has to be. It can't just be a passive LGBT friendly, it has to be actively LGBT positive. Since then, through his internships on the Hill, in campaigns and at national LGBT groups, and soon coming up Lambda Legal, as well as his political ambitions, which apparently Tammy Baldwin needs to watch out, Michael is poised to make a big and proud mark in our community, and I'm proud to present Michael with the Next Generation Award.
Thank you so much. First, I want to thank Metro Weekly and the selection committee. This is really such an honor, and I really appreciate it. And I also want to congratulate the 3 people with whom I'm sharing this honor, because I've read all your profiles and I've gotten the chance to meet you tonight, and you're all rock stars. So to be in the same category as all 3 of you is really amazing. And as Sean mentioned, I'm originally from Erie, Pennsylvania, which isn't exactly the biggest LGBT mecca in the country. And for me, I had never really met an openly LGBT person for most of my life. And when I had seen the premiere of Will and Grace, I know it sounds cheesy, but I was like, oh my God, I get it! I'm Will, a gay lawyer, it all makes sense! And for me, that was a really big moment, because I understood why I was different, and I knew that it was okay, and I wanted to share that feeling of comfort with other people. I try to emulate the inner strong black woman in me every day, but I know not everyone can do that on a daily basis. So I really wanted to start the Day of Silence and a gay-straight alliance to help people come to terms with who they are and be proud of themselves. In Erie, I took my then boyfriend to prom, and it was kind of like the gay version of Save the Last Dance. Everyone was looking at us when we walked in, what are you doing? And that was junior year, but then by the time senior year came around and I did it again, it was just typical. It was normal and no one questioned it, and it was just the same as an opposite sex couple at prom. So that was a really remarkable moment for me, that within 1 year we had changed that many hearts and minds. And I wanted to take that activism to GW. I thought, oh, we're in DC, it's GW, it's gonna be progressive and liberal. It's going to be fine. So I requested a meeting with our senior administration at the university to talk about my goals for the LGBT community. And I'm explaining why we need a trans-inclusive, non-discrimination policy and gender-neutral housing. And everyone seems to be nodding their head, getting it, except one person in the room is looking at me like I have 3 heads. And he looks at me with a straight face and says, "What about these BLT people?" And I didn't know if he was talking about gay people or a mysterious race of sandwich people. I'm still trying to figure that one out. So I realized, okay, we've got a lot of work to do. And fortunately, I was successful to be part of the team that advocated successfully for the LGBT Resource Center and non-discrimination policy and gender-neutral housing and so many other wonderful resources at the university. And at this point, GW has the 2nd highest rating for any college on the Campus Equality Climate Index. So, congratulations. We've come a long way. And for me, my life goals include advocating for all underrepresented people, LGBT people, women, communities of color, and other historically underrepresented groups. For me, that path is public service, and working on the Hill and seeing the Matthew Shepard Act get passed was one of the best moments of my life. And I know that that will only be the first of many LGBT pieces of legislation that we'll see in our lifetime. So thank you again, and it's really been a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.